company. If you're not sure what you're on, we are talking about Q Sciences tonight, and that stands for Quintessential Sciences, but who wants to walk around saying that all day? So we call it Q for short, and I hope that you have pen and paper so that you can write down any questions that you have as we go along, and you can get back with, I see a little baby like keep popping their head in there, it's cute. So you can get back with the person who got you on here, and we can get all of your questions answered. So just kind of backstory for me, I've been in Q now for a year, and it has absolutely been life-changing. And I know people say that all the time, so it probably sounds cliche. However, I come from, well, I've been in the industry, the network marketing industry, since 2012. So it's been 7 years. I'd like to say that I know what I'm doing, but I mean, I've also been a mom for 20 years, and I'm not sure I know what I'm doing with that yet either. So I'm always learning and growing and open for that. But before I got into network marketing, I was a brick and mortar business owner. I owned a salon and spa for 5 years. And quite honestly, when the doors for that were closing, they tore my salon down for road construction. So it was completely out of my control. I had 30 days to relocate. And I don't know about where you live, but here in Pennsylvania, there's a lot of hoops to jump through. And so that's nearly impossible to do. And so as I was transitioning and working for a friend, looking for a new building to open up my own place again, I was introduced to network marketing. And at first I thought, you know, I don't believe in that stuff, like no way. And that company literally changed my life, right? But things changed there, and I then got myself out of there. And so when Q was brought to me last summer, I actually was considering going back into the salon industry. And what's funny is the thing that held me back the most is the thing that this industry has provided me, which is my time freedom. I have been home with my babies. They're now 15 and 20, so they're not babies anymore, but I've been home with them for the last 7 years. And I just could not get myself into the mindset of going back to work, even if it was my own business, going back to work in a building where my clients controlled my time. And so it's funny because when Q was brought to me, I was like, man, I'm not sure. Like, I just kind of was feeling really burnt out. Wasn't sure really where I wanted to go. I was going through a separation. And so like life was nuts. And so I initially was like, yeah, no, I'm not interested. And then something inside said to me, like, how are you going to say no to something that you don't know anything about? And so when I hear things like that, like, I know that's not my subconscious thinking, because I would never say that to myself. I was like, you can't deny that. So I'm going to go and find out what this is about. So as we go through these slides, I'll kind of drip some of that story in, and then I will introduce you to my friend and rock star, Shannon Carlin, a little bit later, and you guys are just going to love her. So Shannon, let's get those slides a rolling. Awesome. So perfect. Okay, so start where you are, use what you learned, and live how you want. That's basically the reason I am here still in this industry, is because I can't go and work for anybody. And even like I said, even owning my own business, I'm still a slave to the people that I'm servicing. And so I don't want that for me. I don't want that for my kids. And living proof, this past summer, we just traveled a ton together, and I really wouldn't do it any other way. So no matter what, if you're looking for, you know, a side business or what we call a side gig, right? If you're looking to do this full time, or even if you're just looking to add some new products and supplements into your life, you know, this is the right place to be, and you're definitely here at the right time. And we're going to talk a lot about the timing of what we have our hands on in just a little bit. And as you guys can see, Shannon is my slide girl. So we'll see how in sync we are on this. So life on your terms. Do you know what you want, and do you know how you're going to get there? Like I was saying, with as far as a side business, a lot of people initially get into this thing just looking for some extra income. You know, studies have shown that families adding even just as much as $500 into their family, you know, earnings a month would keep them out of bankruptcy and really change their debt situation. And so, like I said, if that's for you, like, we can help you do that. But if you also are looking at this on a grander scale, what I love so much about this is we are very business oriented as well. And so we can, you know, you can tell us what your needs are and we can help you meet them. All right, so we have definitely the right mentors here. And as I was telling you, when I initially was like no to this business, these next couple of people that you're going to see on these slides are the reasons I said yes. And I'm not sure there's a picture of Sarah on here, but I'll add in her little thing too. So here we are, Mr. Mark Wilson. He is our founder and CEO of Q Sciences. Crazy, because he was a 2-time Super Bowl champ. He was a Raider, which, boo, I'm a Steelers fan, but hey, I still love him just the same. We're not going to judge him on that. And then after that, when he was getting out of the whole football scene, then he was developing real estate, and I'm talking big time real estate. So when I went to meet Mark, Mr. Mark Wilson, my question was, how do you go from winning 2 Super Bowls, developing this huge real estate company, you're already successful, you're already making the bank, like why would you even get involved in this? And I'm going to be straight up honest that his humility was the first thing that I was like, whoa, like I can stand behind this guy, right? So he was telling me about our very first product that we have, and we're going to talk about in a second, our Q Max product, and how he was giving it to his granddaughter, and just watching how that was changing her life. She's autistic, and she was now able to start saying some words and walking and eating new foods, and that had never been a thing. And then she was sleeping through the night, which was never a thing. And as he's telling me the story, he's crying real man tears in this conference room, and I'm just like, what? Like, this is nuts. So I knew right then and there it wasn't a show, that, you know, his humility and his heart was shining right through his words. And I don't know about you, but it's awesome when somebody can show me how to get to the next level, but it's even better when they're right there on the same playing field as you. All right, now, Mr. Jake Spencer, our Senior Vice President of Global Sales. This one was a big one for me. So all the time, I don't know if you've ever heard, but you know, you always have to lift your leadership lid, right? We get full, we have to do something to lift our lid even higher. And it's been a struggle, honestly, to find someone or a mentor in this industry that really wants to take the time to pour into you more than they want to pour into themselves, or let's say the person who's making them maybe the most money on their team or something like that. I've always had to outsource. So I've hired coaches, I've read all the personal development books, I've done all the things, but you do need someone pouring into your life on a regular basis. And the minute I was hearing from Jake, I knew that this was the guy. And so, he was part of another company. He was their #1 earner for 10 years before he sold his position back to the company and started his own. And now, is partnered with Q, in which he has taken this business and this model and completely changed Q from what it was. Q started in 2012. Jake's been on board for, I think, around 19 months, right? So in that time, he quickly changed the model of the business and the compensation plan of the business, which is going to blow your mind as soon as we get there, I promise. And compensation plan is important to me, but it wasn't the most important thing to me, because my thing was always that I knew how to make a lot of money. I know how to hustle. I have a lot of grit. But it's, again, having the right mentor to pour into you when your tank is empty. And then another part of our compensation plan we'll talk about in a second. So I knew right there that the sky was the limit with this guy. All right, now we have Dr. Stephen Kimberly. So if you guys, I'm sure you have already used WebMD at some point in your life and realized that you're dying with whatever symptom you Googled, right? But behind WebMD was Dr. Stephen Kimberly. He was one of the starting doctors there. But what I love the most about him is that he is all about nutraceuticals more so than pharmaceuticals. So natural healing, supplementation, and why it's important. And so he is always looking for the next improvement in science, which is really important too, because as you guys know, everything about the world evolves and changes. And that includes how our bodies, what we need, because we're not getting the same things from the foods that we're eating that we were getting 50 years ago. Even if you go and buy everything organic today, you're not getting the same thing out of that fruit or vegetable or whatever it is that you were getting 50 years ago. Ozone layers changed, soils changed, all of that. And so he is very on top of those things and always looking for improvements in the products that we're offering to go along with the changes in the body. We have a full site of products, as you can see here. I'm loving our new branding, as you can see as well. So everything from nutrition, weight loss, we now have a full spectrum hemp line, skincare, which we've had, but new and improved. We are launching at the end of this month, actually next week, so like super soon. We have full spectrum skincare with blue blocking technology. I'm stoked for that. And supplement sprays, which when I first came in, people were crazy hunting me down for those sprays because of our methylation process that we use. You know, we're not just saying, oh, hey, here, take this B12 to help with the MTHFR gene mutation that you have. Or, you know, people are getting B12 injections and they're expensive and maybe they aren't helping because not all B12 injections are methylated. And so if this is like way over your head and you don't know what I'm talking about, it's okay. Google it, whatever. Don't even do that. We'll help you with all of that. But the methylation is super important when you're taking these supplements. And so I'm proud to say that we have taken that extra step to do that. So yes, I'm stoked. All right, and capitalizing on the market trends. So hot products, growing markets, and social selling. As you guys know, you're always on your phones, AKA blue light, right? So you're always on your phones. People are on social media more than they watch TV these days, which, you know, TV's on in the background, but they're on their phone. The dog is going to drive me nuts. The hemp oil probably has not kicked in yet. But so we are always on the cutting edge. But what's really cool is we also have an app that is how we can share everything at the touch of a button. It is like our library, so to speak, but also has a customer relation management included in it. So we don't have to go out and spend money on a CRM or pay any monthly subscription for that. It's all included, and we are always on the upcoming trend with those. So I love that. All right, so this one I kind of touched on earlier. We have our Q Max, right? So here's our Q Core Complete. This includes 4 products in the one. So you're getting our Q Max, which has those methylated vitamins. We'd like to call this our brain hack supplement. It helps with everything brain related, from your mood to stress and even anxiety, some depression. Also helps with focus, majorly helps with focus. We have our Align in there. This has been newly reformulated and improved. Helps with inflammation, internal and externally. Our Q-Biotic, so prebiotic and probiotic, is in there with special patented formula to get all the way into your lower intestine, which normally when you take a probiotic, number one, it needs to be refrigerated, and it's usually in some kind of powder or capsulated, and this is not. This is kind of like, I would say maybe like a raw pill, if that makes sense. And that's just so that it gets all the way in there and doesn't dissolve right into your stomach. And then we also have our megas, which, you know, I learned over the last few years, I have very bad eyes. I don't just mean like by seeing, I am blind as a bat, but I'm talking about like the surface of my eyes is very damaged and scratched. And the doctor explained it to me that if you took rocks and threw them at a piece of paper, the way the paper looks after you threw the rocks at it is how the surface of my eye looks. And so I'm like, what in the world? And my eyes don't make or hold tears. So every day and all day, your eyes are staying wet by the tears that just kind of stay in the bottom of your eyes. And my eyes don't do that either. And he's like, you know, do you take an omega supplement? And at that time I didn't. Well, I had one available handy, but I didn't take it. And this is, like I said, a couple of years ago. Well, he educated me on the importance of taking omegas, even just for my eyes. And I will tell you, at that point, I could not get LASIK surgery, but I recently had another consultation, and my eyes have healed so that I can get the surgery. So I'm super stoked, and that just speaks to the powers of one reason why we should be taking omegas. And all of it in one little perfectly packaged box called Q Core Complete. So yes, as we talked about before, products that everybody wants now, and this is a good place for me to introduce Shannon. She can tell you about all of her experience. It's been a wild ride, you guys. This year has been absolutely nuts. I feel like we are very supported by corporate, something that I can't say I ever felt before. And when she talks about the comp plan, she's going to mention one other way that we kind of get paid, and that's through our financial freedom movement. But I wanted to tell you ahead of time that that is the number one reason that I said yes to this business. Because like I mentioned, you know, I'm an entrepreneur at spirit, and I believe in just, I come up with an idea and that's it. Like, it's over. That's what I'm doing. You know, I wanted to compete in bodybuilding. Okay, that's what you're doing. Like, it's just, that's how I am. However, when I looked back over my history, I could make a lot of money, but I didn't know how to keep a lot of money, right? I would put money in my savings, but then there would be some emergency and that money would be gone. So as far as like this industry, we preach a lot about we teach a lot about being debt free and owning your time and being financially free and all of that, but nobody ever shows us how or takes the time to walk us through those steps. And with this company, you get that from day one. And so I'm going to let Shannon tell you all the secrets on that. But I just had to say, like, that is the thing that I'm like, holy moly, I need that in my life. And I can name off 10 people right now that also need that too. And so without further ado, I want to introduce you to my friend and my traveling buddy, Shannon Carlin. She's super, super duper amazing. I know she's going to blow your mind. And I'm looking forward to having you all with us.
Thank you, Amanda. Sorry for that little trickery I had to do, but I muted myself, and because the slides are playing, I couldn't unmute myself, so I had to stop sharing the slides. Y'all, I'm blonde at heart, so if I can do this business, anybody can. So thank you all. My name is Shannon Carlin, as Amanda said, and I am coming at you from South Carolina. I am originally a Southern California girl. That's where California is, where I was born and raised, where I met my hubby, and where we had our 2 kids. But we recently moved to the South. I moved from the South to the South about 3.5 years ago. So it's been a definite change for us, but we were able to do that move and just make a change for our family for no other reason but because we could. And we wanted to be able to show our kids that you don't have to be stuck and that you can do whatever it is that you want to do. And so we taught them that lesson by moving across the country, but we were able to do that because we were self-employed because of this industry. So I found out about this industry back in 2011. I found it kind of by mistake. I understood the industry and I understood the power of residual income. But at the time, I just really didn't believe that the industry was for me. I had nothing against it. I wasn't like Amanda where I thought it was, one of those things. But I didn't think it was the path that I wanted to take with my life. I worked in the corporate world, and it was just always my dream to climb that corporate ladder and be that woman at the top that just ruled the roost. And after having my first child, my son James, I was diagnosed with postpartum depression and severe anxiety. So I had it to the point where it was debilitating, and we didn't know what was going on with me. We didn't think it was postpartum depression because I was able to bond with my child. And what I knew about postpartum was that, it was kind of the Brooke Shields story was kind of popular around then. And, that was where she couldn't bond with her child. And so that's what I thought PPD was. And I didn't have that problem. But I had severe anxiety, severe worry. I couldn't sleep. And I was also kind of having an identity crisis at the time because I realized after having my son that I didn't grow up to be who I always thought I wanted to be. And I really wanted to be home with my baby. And I didn't want to go back to the corporate world. So I was introduced to network marketing, and my husband was actually out of the country working on a job. He was self-employed at the time, working for himself. And I found this industry and it rocked my world. And it really showed me even more of what I knew of residual income. It showed me how amazing and how life-changing it could really be if you went for it. And so that's what I did. I made a goal to make $1,700 before my husband came home. And I said if I did that I knew that this would be something that I would continue with. So I was able to do that very quickly. And I was even more surprised when I found out about Q, how much faster that we were able to do that here than I did before. So when I was introduced to Q, I first said no. I didn't give it another look after I knew the name of the company because, as Amanda said, we called the company Q Sciences, and it has science in the name. And so I really just wasn't interested in that because I'm not a science person at all. So I am kind of mad at myself and wanted to throw myself off a cliff after I realized what I had said no to. But then the person who was introducing me to the company came back around and she said, but Shannon, you have to check this out. I know you're a businesswoman and we are about to release hemp. And at the time, again, not sciencey, I thought it was marijuana. And I said, girl, you are crazy. I am not getting behind selling marijuana. So I quickly learned that no, hemp is not marijuana. So if you were on that mindset, I'm here to tell you that it is absolutely 1,000% not marijuana. I promise I wouldn't lead you astray. But what it is nothing short of phenomenal. And I don't even think that word can do it justice. The hemp industry, I'm sure you've heard of CBD. I'm sure you've heard of the word hemp, and I'm sure you've probably seen the craze that's going on in our world today. But basically, this stuff is amazing. But I will say that not every hemp is created equal, not all CBD is created equal. And knowing that knowing the people that Amanda told you about, Mr. Mark Wilson, Dr. Kimberly, and Mr. Jake Spencer, knowing who they are and the values that they have and the vision that they have for the company, they will do nothing but unless it is top notch. And so our hemp line, we have partnered with the best people out there, and our hemp is by far, in my opinion, the best on the market. And the reason being is we have a patented technology on how it's created. And so it also, Amanda talked about absorbability, how that's important to Q. Our absorbability in our hemp far exceeds our competition in what's out there. And again, that's because of the technology that we have, that we create the hemp with. But beyond all that, when looking at this as just a business, as something to partner with as a business, to me, that's what I really dove into, because that's really what this was about for me. Was going to be something, if I partnered with, I wanted to make sure that it would be something that could fuel my family's legacy, and that it could be something that I could easily duplicate and train other people how to do to fuel their legacies as well. And so right now, hemp ended last year a little bit over $1 billion as $1 billion industry, and it is quickly going to be over 22 billion, and they even suspect it to be 50 billion within the next 5 to 10 years, something crazy like that. So it's definitely something to look into if you're looking for a business to partner with. Going down that hemp route is just a great timing business play, in my opinion, to really get before that train rather than behind it. So Amanda talked a little bit about all of the different product lines that we have. We have infused our hemp into our whey protein as well. So the product line just gets further and further than even beyond what you're seeing here. And I'm not going to get into all of the products with you right now, as I want to honor your time tonight. And I know we don't have all night, but get with the person that invited you tonight, because they can send you information from that app Amanda was talking about to give you more information, more detailed information on the different products that we have there. But if you're looking at Q tonight as a business, we have a great business opportunity for you. And Amanda talked about the social selling and the app that we use. Everything we do, you can see a picture of that app there at the bottom of the screen. That's just one little version of our app, but it just shows you your business at a glance. And once you dig further into that app, you can do everything literally from the palm of your hand on your cell phone. And of course, you can do it from a computer as well. We have a sampling program. We have reports through there. We have everything that you need to run a multi-million-dollar business. So there's two different ways that you can get involved in Q. The first way is if you just want to try out some products, you can get wholesale pricing that we have as a preferred customer with no monthly commitments. You can cancel your auto ship at any time, but you do get wholesale pricing and you are able to earn your products free. And again, ask that person who invited you for more details there. But the best way to join Q, in my opinion, is to become an ambassador. So you can decide how deep you want to get in this business, what money you'd like to make in this business. Some people get involved because they just want that extra $200 to $500 a month, like Amanda was talking about. And some people like myself and like Amanda, we want the full shebang. We want to leave that legacy for our family. And so becoming an ambassador is definitely the avenue that you can take to do that. The advantages of becoming an ambassador is you get everything you need, like that app that we talked about. It also comes with your replicated website, so you can send people directly to your website so they can shop around, get information, and become an ambassador or a preferred customer underneath you. But one of the coolest things about becoming an ambassador is the tax benefits that you get. Now you're in the world of write-offs, where you get to have so many tax benefits off your taxes every year from owning that home-based business. And then, of course, that financial freedom movement, which I'm going to get into a little bit further when I show you the comp plan. So once you become an ambassador, you are going to pick your pack and where you want to get started. If you want to get started with, I call it the backbone of Q, which is our Q Core Complete. That's that those 4 products and one that Amanda told you about earlier. You can do that, or you can get started with one of our hemp packages that we have as well. You take it's totally up to you. It's your choice. You can even a la carte products if you'd like to try any of our other products as well. But once you become an ambassador, you become active by picking whichever product you choose to equal 100 PB. I'm going to go over quickly the ways that we make money here at Q. There's 4 different ways. The first way is through customer sales. Second way is through team commissions if you build a team. The third way is rank advancement bonuses. I like to call that stacking cash because those are freaking phenomenal. And then the fourth way is through our financial freedom movement, which is my favorite way and Amanda's favorite way as well. So here's a quick glance at our comp plan. I won't go into too much detail here, and you might be looking at this going, whoa, this is a lot of numbers, totally confusing. But when you really dive into it, it's really simple, and it's just a 1-page comp plan, which I like the best. My 10-year-old, or he's 11 now, but he was 10 when I started this business, he could explain to you how to make money in this company, and he could explain this comp plan to you in less than 5 minutes flat. This is how easy that comp plan is. So don't let this overwhelm you. But I'll break it down simply for you in the sense that that box number 1, that's our customer sales commissions. And so every product has a point value attached to it. And wherever your points lie, you'll be paid accordingly, anywhere from 15% up to 30%. 30% on customer commissions, guys, that is amazing. I've never even heard of that within our industry. So that's pretty phenomenal for a ongoing thing, not just a upfront amount. It's 30% day 1 through day whenever. We've also added the FFM onto that as well. So just kind of channel that back in your mind, and we'll get back to that one in a second. I like to save the best for last. The second way we make money is through our team commissions. So as you can see, it goes all the way from builder way down to crown diamonds, and it's all volume based. So if you've been in this industry before, take a mental note of where your volume is each month or where it was each month when you were at your peak. And look down that teal column there, the first teal column on the left, and then move over to that teal column on the right. Starts with $50 and ends with $350,000. If you match up that monthly volume to that monthly team commission column, if you didn't fall within that line there, then you definitely need to dig deeper into this, if not only for a business move for your family. For example, let me explain this a little further. I am an emerald with the company. My monthly volume is a minimum of $350,000 monthly. And then if you scroll over there, my residual paycheck is $45,000 a month. At Q, this is not an average. This is exactly what we're paid. I used to say back in the day when I was with my previous company, like, I don't understand why our comp plan needs to be so confusing. I don't understand why people can't explain this comp plan. I don't understand why we don't have a salary. I work just as hard here as I did at my full-time job, and I knew exactly what I was going to make here. Why is it this big, long, complicated calculation to figure out at the end of the month? It should just be a salary like anything else. And my dream came true with Q, because this is as close to a salary within network marketing that you're going to get. So we're all paid the same at whatever rank you are. The third way we get paid is through our promotional rank bonuses. So as you can see, every rank that we have from Builder to Crown Diamond has a bonus attached to it. You earn it, you get it. That's what I love about Q. So some of them have a waiting period, and some of them you get paid right away. Again, ask that person that invited you tonight, and they can break that down for you a little further. But last but not least, I want to get to the FFM, because this was really, as for Amanda, this was also for me what sealed the deal. Besides the people who are behind Q, this FFM program is a game changer. Y'all, this is going to change the industry as we know it today, because what Q is doing here is nothing short of genius, in my opinion. You know, people make tons of money in this industry, but are never taught what to do with it, right? When you go to your full-time job and you get that salary, they take your taxes out for you. They do all the things for you. It's mindless. You don't even need to think about it. But when you go into a network marketing situation, they don't teach you these things. And so a lot of times people make so much money and don't do right by their money. And Q really believes in changing that. Jake said to me, Mr. Jake Spencer, when I met with him the very first time, he said, listen, Shannon, I've been in the industry for so long and I have seen so many people make money, but they leave that company and they have nothing to show for it. So a lot of people stay stuck where they are because they can't lose that paycheck. He says, it's important to me that nobody be stuck at Q. I don't want anybody in this business that doesn't want to be here. So we want to teach y'all how to be safe, how to do right by your money, and how to be smart financially to keep your family safe now and in the future. So if you ever decide to leave Q, you are not stuck in a position where you feel stuck because you didn't do right by your money. And that really struck a chord with me because I was one of those people. I was making 5 figures a month for so long. And we built up that savings and depleted the savings and built up the savings and depleted the savings. And so it really struck a chord with me knowing that a company would help me, teach me, and guide me how to do right by that. So Sarah, that's Jake Spencer's wife, Sarah Spencer. She is phenomenal. Finance is her background, and this FFM program is her brainchild. She created this program to help everybody either pay off debt or save, and I shouldn't say or, pay off debt, save, and both. And so she taught me while I paid off all of my debt to also save. So my husband and I were able to, in the last year, we've been able to pay off over 100 grand in debt, sock in over 100 grand in our savings account, plus create retirement accounts, plus fund our children's college funds, all of the things. So I know that now if something happened to either my spouse or I, our family is completely safe, and that is because of this program. In just 1 year, we've been able to do that. So I thought my life was changed before, and then I came to Q and it changed once again, and it changed even more than I could have ever imagined. And so it is our goal here at Q for every single person that decides to come on board to take advantage of this program, to really dip into it, get involved, and get the most that you can out of it, because it, I promise you, will change your life. So enough on all of that. I'm going to close this out tonight, but if you heard something that you like tonight, or if there's something that you just want more information on, please get back with anybody who, the person who invited you tonight, or back with Amanda or myself, and we'll be happy to help guide you and give you the information that you need and help coach you and help make the decision that's best for you and your family. So thank you, everybody, and have a great evening, and I hope to see all of you soon.